Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be making some Gulab Jamoon, also known as fat kurma. Today's episode is being sponsored by BDZ West Indian Supermarket in Lauderhill, Florida. We're going to be making a coconut version of this fat kurma, but if you wanted to omit the coconut, of course you can. And today's episode is dedicated to my grandmother, my father's mother. I spent a lot of time with her as a baby and I do miss her. So let's jump straight into this recipe. Let me show you how easy and delicious this one will be. In our big bowl, we're going to start with 2 cups of flour. I'm using King Arthur flour. It has a protein content of 11.7%. I believe it's a really good flour to use. Something with a high protein content is great to help hold this together. I'm going in with a packet of coconut milk powder and some powdered milk. Next goes in shredded coconut flakes. Now I'm using the sweetened version. You can use fresh if you like. Baking powder goes in. And now we're going to add some spices. We're going in with cardamom or elaichi powder. And you'll notice how very little I'm putting. You don't want to overpower the flavor of the coconut. In goes cinnamon and nutmeg. The nutmeg I'm adding a little more of because nutmeg pairs really well with coconut. Now I'm going to give this a quick mix just to incorporate those dry ingredients. Next I'm adding in condensed milk. Now this recipe already has that sweetened coconut in it, so I'm not doing a lot of the condensed milk. I'm adding in ghee. If you guys don't have ghee, you can use unsalted butter. And we're using unsalted butter because if you're using this for puja, you can't use salt. Now we're going to add in our coconut evaporated milk, or you can use canned coconut milk to help bring this together. And you see how I'm adding it a little at a time, and I'll mix. And then I'll add a little at a time again and I'll mix. You don't want to add too much. Now I used 1 cup of milk in total, but I still want you guys to add it in small amounts so your dough doesn't get too soft. Now that it has come together, we're going to use my fingertips and I'm going to bring this together into a dough ball. You want to knead it for about 5 minutes. It's going to be really soft, as you'll see here. And that's okay. Once it comes together, we're going to immediately make our kurmas. So you're going to take about a 2-inch size ball. We're going to form that into a ball, a nice smooth ball. And then we're going to roll it into a log or an almond shape. And you're going to do this until you've made out all of your kurma. Now, this fried in 2 batches. But what I suggest you guys do is get a pot big enough where you can fry it in 1 batch. And I don't suggest doubling this recipe unless you have a pot big enough that you can fry it in 1 batch. Next, we're going to fry it on a medium-low heat. You don't want the oil to be too hot. You want to make sure that it cooks on the inside. These are going to fry for about 5 to 8 minutes until they're golden brown. Just take your time and give them a flip to make sure that they're browning evenly and allow them to continue to cook or fry until they have a beautiful golden brown color. Once they're done, you're going to take them out of the hot oil, drain them and place them on paper towels to drain further. Now we're going to leave this to cool down. You want it to cool down really well before you put that coating on it. So let's make the coating in the meantime. To my bowl I have icing sugar and I'm going to flavor it with this coconut milk powder. You see the theme is coconut flavored, so we're carrying the flavors throughout the entire recipe. Give that a quick mix. And now we're going to add in some coconut essence, and this is non-alcoholic, so it can be used. And I have some leftover coconut evaporated milk. So what I'm going to do is add a tablespoon. You're going to add this in small amounts, guys. You don't want it to get too runny. So add that in and give it a mix. Now I'm adding in 1 teaspoon at a time until it all comes together. So mix, mix, mix. I'm going in with a little bit again and mix, and you'll see once I add in that last set, I'm giving it a mix, and look how it came together. Now this is the consistency you want it, like a pancake batter. So this is ready to be coated onto the kurma. So I'm going to place my kurma in a big bowl and pour that icing mixture all over it. This is great for those of you all who have problems making the pag, and I actually prefer this because it gives you a more of a melt in the mouth kurma. And I'm going to give this a good mix. Now you'll notice how thin my icing sugar mixture is. I don't want a thick coating. So I'm going to place it on a cookie rack, allow the excess to drip off, let it dry, and once it hardens, you get a nice thin layer. And it's finished. All you have to do is use it for puja. If you're using it for puja, make sure and don't eat any until the puja is finished. You can make these year round and enjoy them. They're really delicious. They have that light, thin icing coating. If you wanted a thicker icing coating, of course, you would want to mix that icing a little thicker. Look how beautiful and fluffy and moist the inside looks with that thin coating of icing on the outside. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's recipe. If you did, comment down below. Let me know what you think. I have other versions of this on the channel. Do check it out. If you're not subscribed to YouTube, please, I hope you consider subscribing. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye everyone.